Hello again, this is Will Brooks. My mission is to make coding for websites fun and easy to learn. In today's video, I will show you how to create subpages, links, add images to your webpage, and how to use an image as a link. I will spend more time showing you how to add images and using an image as a link though. I will have a timestamp in the description below so you can go directly to the part of the video you would like to see. So let's get to coding! We are going to go through the first few stages pretty quickly here because I've done this before in a previous video. My main focus, as I mentioned in the introduction, is to add images. So you had to add images and use an image as a link. So we're going to click on the top left, New Replit, and we're going to load the HTML, CSS, JS on the left. And we're going to change the title here to, okay, Miyagi's Noodle Shop, like I used to before. Oops, let's go. We don't add it to superficial, silky, whatever that is. Miyagi's Noodle Shop. Okay, let's create. Let's try that again. And wait for it. It's coming. It's exciting when this loads. Here we go. Okay, so now this is the index.html at the top. It says that right there. And we're going to change the title on line number 6 to Miyagi's Noodle Shop. Well, we've done this before. So Miyagi's Noodle Shop. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to go to the body, line number 9. Line number 9. We're going to hit return. And we're going to do H1 here. And we're going to call this the same thing. So hold on, let's close that. Okay, they have the opening tag, closing tag, return. And we're going to call this Miyagi's Noodle Shop. Now, if you've seen this already, and you want to go right to the how to do images, you can go. I have a timestamp down below, so you can go right to there. Okay, and then we got that Miyagi's Noodle Shop. Let's go to H2. We want a little bit smaller size font, and we're gonna say toppings because we want to put toppings in his noodle soup, and you know they charge for toppings. So H2 return, and we're gonna call this toppings. Great. Okay, now we're gonna add just 2 toppings here for the sake of time. We're gonna get up there, and we're gonna do. Let's see. We're gonna call this P because we want even smaller font. And we're going to close that, and we're going to hit return. And we're going to say number 1. We're going to start with roast pork this time. Roast pork, my favorite, again. And this is going to cost $3. And we're going to do a break here because we want the page to go down. We don't want this to be on the same line. Return, number 2, and we'll do bean sprouts like we did before in the previous video. Bean sprouts. Because bean sprouts we like also, and bean sprouts are going to be a little cheaper. Let's say, as we said before, $1.50 for our bean sprouts. And let's do a break here. BR, let's close that. Boom, boom. Okay, good. So we have that. Now, let's run it. Top, and then we have Miyagi's Noodle Shop, toppings, roast pork, and beans. Perfect. Now let's add quick style on the left side, style.css. I'm going to click on that, and we're going to just do to the body like we did before, body space. We need the curly bracket, return, so we have that. And we're going to do color. Let's do background color, background property color, and we're going to say yellow. And then we're going to say the, let's hit return after that. That always has to have a semicolon. And then we're going to just say color for the font color, color property. Oh no. Color, there we go. And we're going to say blue because we want that to be blue. Okay, so let's and then yeah, let's run that. Boom, background is yellow and font color is yellow. Perfect. Now let's go to H1 because we want Miyagi's Noodle Shop to be centered. So let's type in H1 curly bracket, where are you? There you are. Return. And let's do text align, and we're going to say center. Great, and we're going to leave that blue, so we're going to hit return. Let's run that, and boom, text align center. Toppings, let's say red. Let's say just color that red real fast. Toppings, so that's H2, everybody, H2. And come up there, curly bracket. return, and let's say color, and let's call that we didn't do that there, color. Okay, and let's say red. Good. And then let's, one last thing is paragraph. You know, we'll leave that. Let's just leave that blue. So there we go. Miyagi's news. Let's say black. I want to do black. Okay, sorry. Let's do black. So then we need P and then space, curly bracket, return, and again color property, and we'll say black just to make it simple. Black. Okay, and black. Great. Okay, so now we've got our basic simple web page here, and now we're going to add the subpages and links. So let's go back to index.html. What we are going to do next is create a hyperlink and a subpage. So what we want to do is I want the roast pork on the right side there where it says number 1 roast pork. I want to be able to click on that, and it takes us to a separate page, and it's going to say roast pork $3, and then there's going to be a picture underneath that, and then we want to be able to link it back to this page. So first we need to create a sub page, and we're going to click on the top left. It says files there, and there's a plus sign. Click on that, add file, and we're going to call this roast pork.html. Whatever you put there, it's important because you definitely have to have an HTML, but you have to have it spelled the exact same way when you create the link. It's like, you know, with the address of your house. If you send a letter and you're missing some things on the address of your house, the letter's not going to get there. So we've got roast pork.html. So now in order to we're going to create the link here, so we have to go back to index.html up there, and we're going to copy and paste everything, or you can type it out. I recommend typing it out for beginners. 1 to 22, we want to type everything out from there, and except we're going to leave out number lines 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So we're going to leave out 10 to 19. We don't need H1, H2, or paragraph. So let's do that right now. We have now created the sub page. As you see here, this is the roastpork.html sub page. Everything's the same from lines 1 to 11. I just took out the H1 and the H2 and the P. So now let's go to line 6. Instead of Miyagi's Noodle Shop, we're going to change that to roast pork subpage. So roast pork subpage. Okay, and then let's go back and create the link in the index.html. So now we're going to go down to line 17 where it says number 1 roast pork in the middle, line 17, and we're going to create the link there. We want the roast pork. When we click on roast pork, we want it to go to the roast pork subpage. So let's go there, and we're going to put a link tag. The link tag, let's go there, and let's put the less than sign, and then a, as I explained in another video, space, and then href is points to where it's supposed to go, and then we're going to do equals come on, equals quotation. And so now we want to do, we titled it roast pork with a capital P dot HTML. If it's incorrect, you're going to get an error and it's not going to go there. So if you ever get an error, make sure you check it. Now you always have to put that quotation in there, and then we're going to use the greater than sign, the angle sign, to close the opening tag. Now you notice how it always puts that closing tag. We want to get rid of that because I don't want the closing tag to be there. We're going to put the closing tag of this a link to right after the roast pork. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go / a, and then let's close that. Great. So now let's run that, and you notice how on the right side roast pork is underlined because that means there's the link there. So if we click on that, so we haven't put anything yet for it to go to. It's going to the roastpage.html the subpage, but we haven't put anything in the subpage yet. So let's go to the subpage. Okay, our subpage is right there. Notice at the top it says roastpork.html. So now let's go into the body. You'll see in that line 11, and let's hit return. And I'm going to go H1 because I want this to be kind of big. H1, we already styled that. That's the biggest size font, H1. let's do rather this, okay, and then H1, and let's close the opening tag, hit return, and I'm going to type in, I want it to say roast pork on its separate page, roast pork, and then I don't want the $ to be right next to roast pork. I want it to be on the line underneath it. So we have to hit a break. So we're going to do break, BR, to make sure it goes underneath it. And then we're going to click under that. And then we're going to put the amount that it costs. So it's going to be $3. And let's do another break right there. So BR, break, so page goes down. Okay, so now we have, it should go to that roast pork. It should type up there when we click on roast pork. So let's go back to index and let's hit on the right side, roast pork. Boom, roast pork right in the middle there. There's our link, the link to our subpage. Now, one more thing we want to do before we add the images, we want to be able to click on something here on this page to go back to the home page, right? So we need to create a link going back. So in that case, we are going to go and we want that to be a smaller font. So we're going to stay in the body here of the subpage and we're going to hit return. And then we're going to go P because we want that to be in the paragraph. And then we're going to hit return here because that's the closing tag. And so we're going to do another link tag. So that's got to be, again, it's going to be that less than sign A. And then it's href attribute. And then we want to do equals. And then in this case, we're going to do, instead of going to the subpage, now we want to go back to the index.html page, the first page. So that's called index.html. That tells it where to go. It's closed bracket. Let's close that. And now, what do we want to say? So when it goes to this page here on the right, it says roast pork. We wanted to say, maybe go back to home page. Let's do that. So let's say go back to home page. Hold on. Let's get that up there. Or back to home page. How about that? Back to home page. I think I had that on the previous one. Back to home page. So anything in there is going to be written. So let's see. So let's now we've got that link back to the index.html. See, on the left side we have index, roast pork, subpage. So now let's click on run. And let's click on roast pork. And ta-da! We've got that back to home. Let's go back to home page. Roast pork. Back to home page. Roast pork. Back to home page. Perfect. It works well. So next, now we're going to add the image of the roast pork. We are going to step out of coding for a second so I can explain the img tag. But first, I want to just go over once more the link tag here. And so first we have the less than sign A space href. We need the equal sign. That's going to tell it where to go. Remember, for the link, and let's just put index.html, and let's close the quotation, and then let's put a greater sign there. So that's basically your opening tag here for the link tag. And let's just, and then anything in between that, for example, let's just say go back to home page. Go back to home page. That's going to be visible on the site. And then if we close that, let's do /A. Okay, good. So that's our closing tag right there. So the opening tag directs it to where to go, which is index.html. In between the opening and the closing tag is go back to home page. Basically, that's what's going to be, you'll see on the website. That'll be underlined in blue because you can click on that and it'll take you to the index.html page. And then we need the closing tag there. So now when we go to the image tag, so let's do this, and then we're going to type in img image. Now instead of img space, instead of href for the image, we're going to do src, which equals source. So we need source. Now source is going to tell us what picture it's going to pull. It's going to pull the image. Instead of going to someplace, it's going to pull the image. It's going to specify where the image will get pulled from. And then you need your equal sign. If there's ever a mistake, a lot of times people forget to put their equal sign there. Quote, and then let's just put, in this case, roast pork. Roast pork dot jpg, and then let's end that. Now if there's a mistake there, what's going to happen? It's not going to show the picture. So in this case, when you do the image, you need, that's called the src is called an attribute. ALT is also an attribute. ALT stands for alternate. So alternate means we're going to do something different in case the picture doesn't show up. Now we need the equal sign. Don't forget that. and then let's do the quotation. And so we're gonna put here image of roast pork. Okay, and then let's close the quotation, and then let us put a where's my there? Okay, so now notice here there's just we call it an empty tag. There's no closing tag here. It's just an open tag. That's it. There's no closing tag. So as in the link tag. So we've got the alternate ALT means that if for some reason you misspelled roastpork.jpg, instead of showing the picture, it's gonna show the text image of roast pork. Okay. So now we have kind of a basic theory of this. I just wanted to show it side by side between the link tag and the image tag. Now let's go back into our code and let's write this in. Okay, now it's time to have some more fun. We want to add the picture of the roast pork. Now, let's go back here. So when you click on roast pork on the web page, it goes here. I want the roast pork to go right under the $3. So if that's the case, then I need to go on the left side here in the middle, and I need to go where line 14 is, and I need to hit return to put the image there. But I need to find an image of roast pork. So you can either take a picture of roast pork, make it yourself and cut it and take a picture. If you have the restaurant, then you would do that. Or you can go to a couple of free sites that I know of. One site is called Unsplash. And you can see here, Unsplash, UNSPLASH. Lots of free pictures. It's great. I already typed in roast pork, so I hope I'm getting hungry. Look at all that roast pork. Looks good, right? Or you can go to Pixabay. Pixabay is also fantastic. So Pixabay is right there. And I'm going to type in roast pork. They also have lots of good pictures of roast pork. Let's go and let's see. Oh, look at that. There's my noodle soup right there. See, with the eggs and the roast pork and the onions and the seaweed. Now I like this one right here. I'm going to click on this. And then it says on the right side, free download. Fantastic. Let's click on that. And then you can see you can download that, and it's got the JPG there and how many kilobytes. Now I already downloaded this. You can click on free download and put it in your download folder. I already downloaded this. So I'm going to show you how to get it from Replit. So now we're back in the roastpork.html page, right? That's the sub page. And we're going to go to the top left, and we're going to click on those three dots right there. Three dots right there. And see where it says upload file. So we're going to click on upload file. And we're going to hit browse. Ta-da! I've got lots of pictures here. And then there's my roast pork picture. It's going to come up with all these numbers and stuff. So I already renamed it. So I renamed it roastpork.jpg. So don't worry, it's done. So I would recommend renaming it right here. So I'm going to click on this. And let's wait for it to come in. And there it is. Let's click on that. Roast pork. Click here to download. Download. Great. So now the important thing is when you go back into the roast pork sub page, we got to type exactly the way it is. It says, so it's roastpork.jpg, not HTML. So like I said, I want it to go in the middle underneath the $3 sign. So we're going to go back here to where the $3 is under the heading H1. And we're going to type in, like I showed you before, the less than sign, and then IMG for image, and then SRC, and then attribute right there, SRC equals, and then we're going to type in roast pork.jpg. Yay! And then we don't have to close this, remember, but we need to do the alternate, just in case. So alternate attribute, so in case it doesn't show up. And we're going to just put in here, this is what's going to show up on the site if the picture doesn't show up. Image, I'm going to just say image. You can put whatever you want. Image of roast pork, okay? Image of roast pork. You could just put roast pork if you want, but I'm going to put image of roast pork, and then we need to close this. Now we don't need a closing tag here. So are you ready? We're going to run this and see what it looks like. Okay, we're going to click on roast pork, and see, if there's a mistake, it's just going to show image of roast pork. So there's a mistake here, roastpork.jpg. Let's see what our problem is. Let's go to roast pork here. We have two. Look at the top, jpd.jpg. So let's rename it here. rename, and let's take out that first JPG, okay? So let's type roast pork, and then let's go here, and then that should be good. There we go, roast pork. That now I changed, see? So you can have a name, your name could be incorrect. You have to check that. So let's hit run, roast pork, and ta-da! Whoa! Our roast pork is, well, it looks delicious, but I think it's a little bit too big. So now, perfect. So now we saw when you made a mistake, the image would come up, image of roast pork as we saw. Now we want to go back in here. We want to go after the image of roast pork, and we want to put in the height, the width and the height. So to do that, we're going to type in style, and there's a style attribute. And then we're going to first do, we're going to do width, and let's see, width, style, width, and then you have to do colon, and then you do your pixel. So width, let's do, how about we do 200, let's see, width, let's do, let's try 200 pixels, 200 and px. Now you don't want a space between 200 and px, so 200 px. Great. And then after that, you want a semicolon. Great. And then we're going to do height, height, colon. And for the height, let's try 150 px. Px. Good. And we're going to do the semicolon again. We need that. And that's all going to be in the quotation. And then we have there. And then we have that. So let's take a look. So we got image of roast pork. We added the style equals quotation width colon 200 px semicolon height colon 150 px semicolon end quotation, and then let's end that there. So let's hit run, and let's hit roast pork. Wow, perfect. How about that? Roast pork, $3. That looks delicious. Okay, so that's how you would create get an image to your website. Now, one more thing we're going to do is we're actually going to make that image into a link. The last thing we're going to do in this video is really cool. We're going to mix up the add images with the links. We're going to actually make the roast pork the link. So it's really simple. I'll show you. Look at line 18. 18, right? That's the link. It says index.html, and then back to homepage. See, back to homepage. I'm going to click it here. Okay, let's go back to roast pork. Good. So instead of back to home page, we're going to make the picture there. So we're going to get rid of, see how it's, we're going to get rid of this right here, back to home page. Hold on. Back to home page. And we're going to put the picture in between there. What? Okay, so now obviously we need to get rid of that whole thing. So let's go back up to the $3, and we're going to wrap that link around the image. So let's do this. Let's hit return. And let's just type in that href equals index.html. So let's do that less than sign a. Oh, get out of there, you. A, and then href, attribute, href equals, hold on, equals, quotation mark, and then we're going to do index.html, end quote, and then we just need to close that opening tag there. Okay, now, so now we basically moved this down here in line 18 up there. All right, that's going to tell it where to go. Now we just got to move the closing tag at the end. So we just got to go over here to move it towards the end. So we're going to go here, hit return, and then move that. Let's close that link tag. So we need this /a, and then let's close that. And now we need to get rid of it down here in the P. Come back up. Let's get rid of it down there. Okay, so so you see what I did? Under $3, I just moved that A tag, that link tag at the top, and instead of back to home page, I have the image in there, and then underneath that, I closed that link tag. So let's refresh that with the run at the top. And let's see, roast pork. See, back to home page is gone. Now look, if I click on the roast pork, ta-da! The roast pork is the link. Now, people are not going to know to click the roast pork, so let's put down at the line 20, let's put down a little blurb there that says, let's say, how about we say click the roast pork, click the roast pork image, maybe. Click the roast pork image to go back to homepage. That's right. You can put anything you want there, but I'm just plain, we're just having fun, okay? So click the roast pork image to go back to homepage. Ready? Let's run that. And let's click on roast pork. Ta-da! It says click the roast pork image to go back to homepage. Let's do it. Boom. 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 How much fun is that? Okay, so that comes to the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. If you liked it, please click the like and subscribe button below, and I will teach you more fun stuff next time. I think we're going to go over how to put dates and times in your web page. Thank you so much. This is Will Brooks again. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Goodbye.